So the big question is this. How entrepreneurs like us who have been breaking with old beliefs, like the idea of holding a 9-to-5 job and living paycheck to paycheck, taking a lifetime to reach business and life success as the only option we have? How do we grow our business in a way that lets us highly service our customers, getting our products and services and the things that we believe in out into the world without diluting our life but enhancing it and taking the journey of internal and external growth? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. Your host is Marina Simon, and welcome to 10 Exit. Life and business as usual? Never again.
I wanted to share with you a story that happened to me yesterday. And I thought I had to make an episode out of this because I think it's more common than you will think, but I think it can be avoided. So, I was minding my own business, right? I told you I traveled a lot recently. I went and dropped some dry clean, and I left the ticket in the kitchen counter, right? I went back out, I came back in, and they passed through, right? And I'm looking at the ticket and I'm thinking, oh my God, I need to pick up my dry cleaning. But I got busy, quote unquote, on other things, right? Until I just realized, Marina, you need to freaking pick up your dry cleaning, right? I don't want them. Nowadays, business, unfortunately, some of them are closing, so I don't want to lose my clothing. So I realized, I have to go and pick it up. What was my surprise? The cleaning person came and threw the ticket away. Now, granted, I just moved to this new location and I really didn't knew any dry clean. So I was doing some errands when I dropped that dry clean and I forgot what dry clean. Didn't knew. I just put on my Google, right? And Google it. So I totally forgot where my dry clean went. So I go into the counter, no ticket. I'm like, all right. So I thought I need to, again, reluctance to do something about it, right? I continue working. Oh my God, it's a pain in the booty. I'm going to have to Google. Just thinking about it get me overwhelmed, right? I'm going to have to Google. And if I can't Google it, I'm going to have to drive around and find where is it. But, I remember that day I dropped the dry clean near another area because I was doing some photocopies and some other things. So I'm thinking, God, it's not even near this house. So I'm like, okay, I need to do it, right? Every day I will think about it. Okay. So now I'm thinking, okay, now I need to change. I need to commit to change these because I don't want to lose my clothing. So yesterday was the day, guys. So yesterday I thought, okay, I'm going to see what's near the house. I saw a couple of them. I started driving there. I was already out, right? I went in one. I saw it. They look familiar. No. Asked them. No. Other one had a grown phone number. I also drove there. No. Right? Okay. A cycle that should have taken literally 10 minutes took 2 hours, guys. Plus exhaustion, plus gasoline, plus production time. I mean, I cannot even tell you because I wasn't organized. So I continue and then I realize, oh my God, I dropped something in this, in this place where I was doing some photocopies and some framing and this and that. So I Google that particular company and I found several ones, right? And I'm like, okay, let's try this one. And then I search again for dry cleans. Again, driving starts, calling starts. Drove, nothing. People were confused. What do you want? And I'm like, my name is Marina Simon. By any chance, do you have a couple of garments on that name? No, we don't. Other ones were busy. I mean, it was horrible. The day was hot. And by the way, my air conditioner broke for a couple of days already. I already told you on my past episode. Until today, the guys arrived to fix the air conditioner. So it has been a very rough time, right? Getting effective at getting things done. So I continue. doing my driving, my calling, until I found the place where I was doing the photocopies at last. And then I searched for near dry cleans. I went to the first one. It was not. Thanks God. I arrived to the second one, and there it was. I opened the door. It is you, right? And I'm like, okay, here I am, right? And then I asked, for my garments. Sweetheart enough, he gave them back to me, and that was my reward. However, I learned a lesson. That's the whole cycle. I'm trying to tell you this story. So, what happened? In production, right? It was just dry clean, right? I lost 2 hours. That's 120 minutes of production. I don't know what you can do in 2 hours, but I think you can do a lot in 2 hours of production, right? You can handle, I don't know, a good chiropractic can handle maybe 12 appointments, right? Like bam, 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 bam. That's a lot of income, right? Or my friends, entrepreneurs, you can do a lot of production on that time. Or mothers, you can feed your kids, get them to school, do so many things in 2 hours time. What did I do? Instead of having a cycle that should have taken 10 minutes, I turned it into a 2-hour cycle. Guys, you can get a lot of income in 2 hours. In fact, Russell Brunson broke a record. He created, let me see, how was it? He created maybe $2.5 million or $6 million. Maybe I'm creating a huge mistake. Hold with me. Either it was $6 million in 2 hours and a half. Imagine I was Russell Brunson. Of course, Russell Brunson never will do this. He's one of the best internet marketers, guys. If you want to Google him. He's freaking fantastic. So what I'm trying to tell you is, in 2 hours and a half, the man created $6 billion worth, which he, exchanged with Grant Cardone because they were doing an event together, share it. But my point is, my God, that's a loss. $2.5 million at least for 2 hours of production of his time, instead of fucking driving around, sorry my French, instead of riding around town trying to find your garments. Make sense? Okay, so I want to apply it to business. So I want to read you a definition of organizing, right? And this is from Mr. Hubbard. To put order into something. Not organizing leads to confusion. This is true of companies, business, individuals, whatever, right? Tickets for dry clean. Doesn't matter, your house, right? To put order into something and then not organizing leads into confusion. Now, why is this important to know? What happens when you have a confused area? What happens with your production, guys? And, production is key for you all entrepreneurs, just human beings in this planet. Production is what feeds us. Production is what makes us happy. Production increases our morale. Production is what we do in life, right? So, Mr. Haver has a reference called Order versus Disorder, right? And he talks about the actual fact of the case is that a disordered person operating in a disorganized area makes a 10-minute cycle into a 3-week cycle. Did you hear that? 10-minute cycle into a 3-week cycle. How can that be? Let's continue. Believe it, this is true. Simply because he could not find his ruler, lost his eraser, broke his typewriter, dropped a knot, and couldn't find it again, and had to send off to Seattle for another one, etc., etc. I don't know if it has happened to you, and raise your hand again, even if you're by yourself, that you lost something or broke something, right? Because you were, disorganized, and you have to order the part. Nowadays, there's Amazon, right? But you have to order the part. The part was in backlog, and the backlog was like 2 weeks. If you're mechanics of a car, I don't know. It has happened to me that I'm working on something and I have a disorganized environment and I lose something and I can't find it, guys. And it takes me a couple of days, right? In the past to find it and then continue certain areas. So what I wanted to address is it's important to keep your environment, know where you leave things especially in your work areas. If you have an orderly environment and you know what you're doing, your production can do X. If you have a disorganized area, your production can crash. And I had a couple of percentages here I want to share with you. I'm looking for them, but it's truly a huge impact. Having order, having your basics in, it cuts production down to nothing. There just won't be any production at all, right? If you're building houses, no houses will be built. Why? Because the nuts got lost, and so now you can't put them on the freaking, wood or walls or whatever it is. Or the lumber got lost, right? It was transported from point A to point B. I'm looking for the data of the percentage because it's pretty fascinating to see. This thing is true, right? It says some areas, of course, will be found to be in excellent order and will pass the inspection. Sometimes you have to inspect. Like, here's a drill for you. Go into your office or your area of work. Inspect it, meaning stand up there and observe. Look, is it everything on its place? Or there are papers all over the place and it's disorganized? Go. Observe. Do you have everything in its place, neatly put, where you know everything, every single object, thing, document, where it is? Or you have piles of things that you're hoping to put away someday when you have time, right? Guys, again, you know me, I love to give you tips about production. Production is the basis of morale, and production is what fills your wallets. So, it's one thing that can make a difference for you to 2x your production. If you have a mess of your desk, do something right now. Stop what you're doing and organize it. Not joke. Stop what you're doing and just put order on your desk or a section of your desk. On the biggest pile you have, maybe took just a bunch of small little papers, just a piece of it, and put them where they belong. Don't take everything. If you can right now confront or handle the whole thing, take a little thing that you can handle right now. Put it on its own area. You do that? Okay, good. So this is a little drill for you. Write it on your to-do list. Organize a section of your office every day. Or, I will say you because then you know where things are. If you have somebody to do it for you, just know that they know where you want things to be, right? Because otherwise it can be very clean, but the papers are in areas where you don't know where they are. And maybe the person is not available, so now you're wasting time, right? A knowledge of the basics of an area and having orderliness in an area are essential to production, right? So if you put this order in, non-productive areas will become capable of producing. And already producing areas will increase their production. And production will roll. So just a little tip, try to implement it. It does not only need to be in your office, Woman like me, do it at home. If you have somebody to help you, tell them where you want things. Put order in your environment, and that will increase your productivity, and that will increase the happiness of the group and the people around you, and most likely it will increase your income. Have an outstanding day.
Thanks for joining us today on 10 Exit. Life and business as usual? Never again. We love always hearing from you. Please feel free to send Marina an email, marina@marinasimonbrand.com. Your input and comments are always welcome, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you like the podcast, you can always subscribe to it. Remember, the best way to predict the future is to create it.